Hi guys, welcome to the last video of this short unit, and it will be a short video as well on monthly mortgage payments. And this is really, I think, where you can start to see the helpfulness of Algebra 2, especially in real world situations that you're going to find yourselves in the future, as you will have to make decisions about financing for a house with a mortgage at certain interest rates over certain periods of time. And for each of these scenarios, you're going to use the same monthly mortgage payment formula or monthly payment formula for your mortgage that you see here. Now, this looks like a lot of variables, and it is. It turns out, though, it's just a calculator problem. Okay. Now, there is a lot that you'll have to type in. What I would recommend, what I'm going to do as I'm walking through this, is simplifying pieces at a time, like the numerator first, and then the denominator second, and then dividing the results afterwards. I think breaking things into a piece at a time is very helpful. So you basically have four variables here that you're going to need to know. You have your principal, or the initial purchase price of whatever the house will be, and then of course you will have to pay interest on that over time. So you have a rate. You're going to change percentage to decimal, very much in the same way that we did that for interest formulas earlier in the previous unit. N equals number of times per year that you're paying something or doing something. So in this case, monthly would be 12, N will be 12. And then time is the financing period of your mortgage plan. Now that can be 10 years, 15 years, 30 years. Those are all pretty common. We're going to do one example with a 30-year here first, and see where we can compare different things in a minute. Okay, so let's say a family is purchasing a house and needs to finance a $180,000. That's going to be the purchase price of the house. If you go on Zillow or something and look at house prices, this is what you're going to see. Okay, not the total, but the principal. So in this case, P is $180,000. We're going to have this family finance that at an APR, or annual percentage rate, of 3.2%. So if we change that percentage to decimal form, remember what you can do here is divide by 100. And it's going to be 0.032. Okay, be careful. I would divide by 100. I would not just eyeball it and move decimal places. This will make sure that you're exact. We're looking for monthly payments here, so N will be 12 months. And finally, the number of years that we're going to have this, try to pay this off within, will be 30 years. That's our time frame. The whole house will be paid off after then. Okay, so 30 years. What will our monthly payment look, MP, what will that look if we input these variables into our formula? It's very careful. What I would do, and really I'm just plugging things in, you're going to need to do this in a calculator, and what I would definitely be doing is not just double checking, at least triple checking my answers here, because decimals do matter. Dollars and cents do matter. If you miss a payment, if you round incorrectly, okay, that can be the cost of certain types of fees for missed payments. You don't want to have that happen. Dollars and cents, exact figures do matter here. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're using all the right numbers. Okay, that's our numerator. Now, in some formulas, you can see that there's no brackets. Okay, some formulas have it without the brackets. It doesn't really matter either way, since everything here is in the denominator. The reason I like to use brackets myself, so you can see the formula this way. I personally like using brackets, especially for those of you who try to type in everything at once. If you don't use brackets, or parentheses is the same thing, if you don't do that, and you try to type in everything at once, you will get the wrong answer. So if you're going to try to type in everything at once, I don't recommend that. I do recommend simplifying one part at a time. But if you're going to try to type in everything at once, please use parentheses or brackets or something, or else it's going to try to subtract 1 off to the side and not include that as part of your denominator. So very important there, okay, if you're going to try to do everything at once. Okay, and obviously I will not be able to do this in my head, so what I'm going to do -1. What I'm going to do here is just double check what I already had input, so that when you're simplifying, what you should find is that the numerator will simplify to be, and please be exact as possible, 1,252, and then go as many places as possible. 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 1. Okay, that's probably enough. Again, the reason I'm being more exact here is because I need to now divide by my denominator. What did this all simplify to be? Okay, and that's going to be 1.6. This is a good way to confirm your numbers at this point. You should be getting the same thing I am. If not, be careful and double check with me at some point why that is. Okay, and again, the reason that this is important is because when we find our final, which in this case will be $778.44. In this case, you're going to round down. Some cases you round up. Okay, it depends. Do you have a 0.5 or higher? Round up. If you have something lower than 0.5, round down. Okay. So that's why we're being as exact as possible with these decimals, so that when we come to having to round our problem, we end up with as exact an answer as possible. That will be our monthly payment, okay, if we're doing a 30-year mortgage. Now, what I'm going to have you guys do as your own personal project, okay, using the same formula, I want you to take a look at the following problem. Okay. So, let's say that you or your family was looking to finance a $285,000 mortgage, okay, with an APR of 2.75%. So I actually bought a house last year, and this was roughly the percentage that I got on my house. It's pretty low. That's a good percentage. If you get something when you're ready to buy a house, I hope it's just as good or better. But if not, you know, that's a decision that you'll need to make on your own. Those can fluctuate. And this family or your family wants to know which plan will fit their budgetary needs the best. A 30-year, 15-year, or 10-year monthly mortgage payment plan. Okay. So obviously in each of these scenarios, our principal would be the same. Our rate is the same. And we're dividing that by 100 once again. So it's going to end up being 0.0275, and our number of months is the same. But clearly T is going to depend on which plan we're choosing, a 30-year, a 15-year, or a 10-year. Okay. All of those T's, those two T's, those two exponents will be affected by which you choose. Now, I'm going to let you try this on your own, those three scenarios. But here's what I'm going to leave you with and why this is important. Okay. The total cost of what you'll be paying over time is always going to depend on how much you've financed and for what period of time you've financed. So you'll have a monthly payment that is going to change depending on your formula. And you'll have a number of years that also depends on what plan that you're using. Okay. Total cost comes from 12 payments, 12 monthly payments, times the number of years. Okay, so all these three things multiplied together. And the fewer years that you finance for, the more that you have to pay a month. Now that's a trade-off because it means that there's going to be less of a total cost. Okay, the longer you have something that you're paying for, the more interest that can pile up. And so if you have more years, like a 30-year payment, yes, you will have a lower monthly payment, right? It won't be as bad up front, but there will be a higher cost overall. So try those 3 scenarios. Consider what you might want to do in the future, 30-year, 15-year, or 10-year. If you have a lot of money up front, it is probably better to pay things quickly. But if you do want to finance for 30 years because other considerations, you have to pay for a car loan, student loans, things like that, covering other costs, that's where you might want to look at a 15 or even a 30-year. So it's up to you. I want you to try those on your own, and hope this video helped. Bye.